Guided by the Quran's light, we find our way. Guided by the Quran's light, we find our way to success in this life and a brighter day. To success in this life and a brighter day.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen. Amma ba'd, fa'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Rasulallah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Habiballah. As-salatu wassalamu alayka ya Nabiyallah wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Nurallah. Welcome, dear viewers, to a new program, a new series entitled Success in the Holy Quran. Inshallah, we'll be mentioning ayat of the Quran, verses of the Quran, which if we follow wholeheartedly, then no doubt we will attain success. We will attain falah. We will achieve our goals, our ambitions, and our aims and objectives as well. So, the ayat that we will be discussing today is as follows. Let's hear the recitation first, followed by the translation. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم كتب عليكم القتال وهو كره لكم وعسى أن تكرهوا شيئا وهو خير لكم وعسى أن تحبوا شيئا وهو شر لكم والله يعلم وأنتم لا تعلمون. Translation from Kanzul Irfan. Jihad has been made incumbent upon you, even though it is undesirable to you. And it is near that you dislike something, even though it is good for you. And it is near that you prefer something, even though it is bad for you. And Allah knows, and you do not. In this verse of Al-Quran Al-Kareem, the context is about striving in the way of Allah in terms of battle. But alongside that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given beautiful advice. What advice is that? There are many occasions in life where we dislike something happening. We are not happy about something in our life. But hidden within that disliked thing, disliked event or instance or occurrence is great goodness. Allah Ta'ala has hidden and kept great amount of goodness in that. We will go through that difficulty, we will go through that hardship, and when we've gone through it, we come out on the other side, we will realize only then how that was a blessing for us and not a curse. And also the verse tells us that many a times in life what happens, we like something, we want something desperately, we yearn for it, we make every single effort for it, but the harder we try, the more distant that thing becomes. So many examples. But only when Allah Ta'ala has not given that thing to us, we've exerted all efforts, later on we realize, Allahu Akbar, Allah Ta'ala kept that thing away from me for a reason. I wanted it, but there was no goodness in that for me. And you will receive such a sign. You will receive an indication from the court of Allah that that thing wouldn't have been better for you. And insan in the end realizes, and he should realize from day one, but it's the fitrah of insan, the nature of insan, that he realizes at the end that Allah Ta'ala was protecting me there. Allah Ta'ala was aiding me and assisting me there. He was bringing khair towards me, He was distancing shar from me. So, in today's episode, inshallah, we will discuss, especially in regards to those things in life where we want something, we don't get it, and some things we dislike, but we go through it and it benefits us. And remember, when we go through that hardship, when we go through that difficulty, that pain even, and we come out on the other side, we realize that that pain, difficulty, or hardship, mashaqqa that I had to go through was minor, nothing. Look what Allah has given me in place of it. And also, when we are desperate for something, we want something so badly, and it keeps becoming distant from us. And when it's completely distant from us, we haven't attained it, and then we realize the benefit in not attaining it, then again we do shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we say, Ya Allah, I was insistent that I received that thing, but Ya Arhamar Rahimin, Ya Alim al-Ghaib, oh Alim, the all knowledgeable, you knew that that thing wasn't better for me. This is why you kept it away from me. The further I would go towards it, the more it would distance itself from me. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is Ahkamul Hakimin, and every single one of his actions is full of wisdom. Fi'lul Hakimi la yakhlu anil hikmah. So the action of the All-Wise, meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is not devoid of wisdom. There is wisdom. Whether we see it early on or we see it later on, we will realize. Or whether we do not see it at all and it becomes apparent to us in the hereafter. Every single action of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is full of wisdom. And what these trials, what these difficulties, what these disappointments, if we were to use that word, what these do is they build up strength in a person to go through such difficulties in the future if needs be as well. Let me give you an example. Someone who unfortunately does not fast in the month of Ramadan. He just has a very bad habit. The whole Muslim Ummah is fasting, but some people are not. Now those people who don't fast, because they're not fasting, because they're not making that effort, because they're not challenging themselves, they will always feel, oh, it's too much, it's too difficult, I can't do it. But then the other person who has gone through that mashaqqa, has gone through that hardship, he found it difficult early on, the fasting becomes second nature to him. Similarly with other aspects of a person's life, dunyawi and dini, both from a worldly aspect, from a religious aspect as well. You offer salah, someone who doesn't offer salah, he finds it very difficult. I have to do wudu, I have to wake up at Fajr time, I have to do the physical acts of worship. He finds it like it's a mountain to climb, difficult. But someone who's used to that, maybe it's the case that even before his alarm rings, he's up because he's used to it. He goes to obviously do ablution, he removes the knots of shaitan from himself, and then he performs his salah, his azkar, his wazaif, his tasabih. So there are many, many wisdoms in the difficulties that we go through, in the things that we are made to go through, in the things that we are not able to attain despite every effort. There's even wisdom in that as well. And this is what the verse of the Quran is telling us. So the best approach is to hand over all your affairs, assign every affair to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأُفَوِّضُ أَمْرِي إِلَى اللَّهِ. And I hand over my matter to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because what does the verse tell us right at the end? وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. And Allah knows and you do not know. So something we desperately want, we make dua for it day and night, we don't get it. Allah knows that that thing is not better for us. Or something we dislike, we make dua to be saved from it, but we go through it nevertheless. There's nothing that we can do to prevent going through that. Allah knows that that is better. Allah knows that is better for us. So we assign all our matters, all our affairs